Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Talk, Marriage and Family. I am Stephen.
And I'm Phoebe, and we're excited to have you with us today. It is Youth Month, and because we are in Youth Month, we have young people joining us today. You may recognize them, but we'll let them introduce themselves. Hi, ladies.
Hi guys, I'm Setlin Strachen.
And I'm Jed.
We're excited to have you back. How was your first episode last week?
It was okay.
It was good, enjoyed it.
Okay.
Enjoyed it so much that you came back.
No,
Or you didn't have a choice.
You brought us back. We had no choice. We had no choice. You just said come
Due
back.
to popular demand. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So tonight we want to speak to the youth, since it's Youth Month as we introduced it, and we want to ask the young people how life is today as a youth in 2026.
So we'll start with Gabby, since you are the youngest amongst us and you are the youngest youth. What is it like to be a young person in 2026? Generally.
Gently. Confusing. Well, yeah, it's confusing because there's so many things that people want you to do, but there's also so many rules, like from many different sides, many different conversations that you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing anymore. Because there's so much arguments that's happening all the time.
Can you give us an example?
Christianity, arguments around Christianity, let's just say that, because like the arguments on whether it is inclusive or exclusionary, whether it is restrictive, different arguments on that. Yeah.
Sifan, what's your experience like as a young person in 2026?
A young person in 2026, there's not a lot happening, if I may be honest, in my life of 2026 as a young person. But besides going to youth, I'm always with the young people in youth on a Friday night where I get to be in communication with other young people, getting their insights on how their week went, and it's also it has its challenges. Some people want to do certain things, other people want to do other things, and I'm just more to myself. Nowadays, I'm just more to myself. So there's nothing much I can say for 2026.
Is 2026 different from the previous years?
In some way, it's a little different, if I can put it from the past 2 years, if I may say, yeah, the past 2 years. If I had to think about 2 years ago and now, it's quite different, especially my circle and who I am surrounded with. So 2 years ago, I was still in college, so I was with a lot of young people every single day. So their views and things about God, about being a Christian, there was a lot to, how do I say, to learn and to understand and see where people are at. So I met people that are atheists, people that are also Christian, people that are Christian with a little bit of a sideline to it. I'm like, okay, so it is different.
So you would then say that in school it's particularly different than what it is when you go to a church youth group.
Yes.
What's the difference? What's the difference between being amongst Christian young people and non-Christian young people?
I think the difference is non-Christian young people is they have their own views on what they view is right and wrong. So if you have a say, then there's backlash, there's arguments, there's no, oh, I agree with you. But when you're with the Christian young people in a group, it's more connection, it's more understanding because we all believe the same thing.
Gabby, your thoughts?
I'm not gonna say in a Christian people believe the same thing because in my experience with the youth group I'm in, we do have differences, mostly because we come from different Christian experiences growing up. Because we're from all over South Africa, some of us from outside of South Africa. So like being together, it's like people are like, it's different opinions that are coming together, different opinions about different things coming together in Christianity and whatever. But it is different to when you are in school, because when you are in school, you don't know who's Christian, who believes what you believe, who is entirely against what you believe. So it's like more like you have to like gauge who you are talking to and like what you can say with the people that you are talking to, because one wrong thing said and it can turn into an entire argument, or this person no longer likes you, or yeah, so it's just complicated.
So having conversations as a Christian is difficult.
Yeah.
It is difficult, like she said, depending on who you're speaking to. So you need to gauge, you need to learn people in order to know what conversations you can have with them.
So are the young people in university more outspoken, more confrontational, which makes the conversations more difficult?
I don't actually know who's confrontational and who's not. It's more people online are confrontational, so then you don't know who in person is confrontational and who isn't.
Well, yeah, I'm hearing that from the both of you because you are having that experience now. And Setlin, when she was in her college years, was having that experience where there's so many different views, so many different opinions, so many different thoughts that can spark arguments if you all don't believe the same thing. And I know in my youth, if there was anybody that believed something different to me, I would back off from that conversation. I would just shy away. Whereas there are some young people, Christian young people, that are really, really bold about what they believe and what they, stand for, and will take on a challenge in talking about their beliefs and talking about their God. But I want to know if you can share what's your personal Christian story. Well, what has happened for you? How do you know God for you?
I don't really have like a story, but I can just say for my whole life, I've just been in church. Every Sunday we go to church, and I would tag along with there, going to rehearsals for church. So my whole growing up was just church. Everything was church until, I'm not sure which year it was, until we took a step where we left church that we were serving in. We went to another church, and it got to a stage where we needed to now grow. We needed to now learn about God for ourselves, and that's when I got baptized, and that's when everything started developing in terms of getting my personal relationship with God, and not just knowing God through my parents. Yes.
Okay.
For you, Gabby?
Like Stephen said, it's like we grew up in church, so that's all we knew. But for me, the first time I started building the relationship for myself was when I went to university, because then it was like there's no longer somebody who is can I say forcing, even though it was never forced, but like it was pushing
Okay,
you to go to
you're allowed to be honest.
It was like it's no longer anyone that's pushing you to go to church on a Sunday, pushing you to be like active in church. So it was like a decision I needed to make for myself, and it took so long to get to that point because being by yourself, having to find a new church, you don't know which church will fit you, which church will follow the same beliefs that you do, because there's so many different versions of church that it's complicated to find the one that works for you. So that's like the biggest challenge, but eventually I did find it, and I've been building my relationship with Christ since then.
So, based on that, I just want to ask a final question. How's your experience knowing or being a Christian and being exposed to non-believers?
I don't think I know anyone who's an unbeliever.
So the group of young people you're interacting with are all Christian.
So it's complicated because it's people that say they are Christian or they go to church but they're not active in it. But it's like a lot of people, it's like different levels of Christianity. I haven't met somebody that's like they completely don't believe in God. Yeah.
Okay.
So I met at least only one person that doesn't believe in God. And I can't remember. You're asking the difference.
Yeah, how is it to interact with a person that especially boldly says, I don't believe in Jesus?
Okay, to interact with someone who doesn't believe in Jesus, at first, because I've never met anyone who doesn't believe in Jesus, it was something that I was really curious to know and learn, because I would like to know what is the reason, what happened. Is it because you are growing up with like your family, do they all not believe in God? Until the person himself told me that their mother goes to church. So I'm like, okay, for him not believing in Christ was not because of his parents. So whenever there's conversations being held about Christianity or something related to God, I always want to hear his viewpoint and what he says about it, because I need to know what is a non-believer's mind, what do they think about, what do they view, and then I can weigh now the differences and still be true to myself and stand for what it is I believe in.
I think one of the questions that I would like to ask is, based on your belief and your interaction with different cultures, different belief systems, because though everyone is Christians, the belief systems are different. And people that outrightly say, I don't believe in God. Do you ever find yourself, or did you ever find yourself doubting your belief?
I don't know if it's doubting. Would you describe it as doubting if you just trying to understand things? But I remember there's a lot of points where I would like ask questions about things I didn't understand, but it's not necessarily that you doubt it, more than you just don't understand it.
You're seeking clarity.
Yeah.
I feel it's the same. You not doubting that you believe in God and know that He's real as a Christian, but you mainly just want to understand. And if you don't understand, then you push yourself into a box to say like, do I know God? Somewhat understanding. Is God even there with me? And why if you think about it in church, people that can speak in tongues, because you can speak in tongues, you're like, do I even have a relationship with God? Why is God not speaking to me? Why can't I hear the voice? Until we get to understand and learn everything for ourselves, then we get that experience for ourselves. But it's not really a thing of doubting, more than just understanding.
Or seeking understanding.
But there is a lot of, where it comes to a lot of the time, it feels like not that you are doubting your belief, but you doubting how committed you are, because you feel like the things that you do isn't enough because other people are doing so much more than you are, or especially when it comes to schoolwork, other people prioritize church and going to church and doing that, then you start to doubt that you should be focusing on schoolwork as well and placing priority on schoolwork, because then it feels like you are placing that over God, and that is another thing that creates doubt.
Oh, that balance of priorities. And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair question to have, right? But it should never make you feel less than, because being a Christian is not about your works. It's not about the things that you do. You're not going to gain brownie points because you're going to church over finishing an assignment. Okay? What God expects of us to do is to be good stewards of what we are entrusted with. Daddy says it's responding to your ability. Your responsibility as a student is to do well with your schoolwork. Okay? You're not going to be, you're not going to forfeit your place in heaven because you are serious about your responsibilities. And that doesn't make you less of a Christian. What do you think?
Yeah. And it's part of your worship, doing well in what you are responsible for. Works and church attendance guarantees nothing. It is how well you are conducting yourself and the things that you are responsible for.
I want to ask a question about social media and how it's actually impacting young people today. You may not have the answer on your personal experience, but what you see, what do you see, what is social media doing to the youth right now? What influence does it have?
Making people believe everything that they see.
What do you mean?
Whatever they see, they feel that is true. Before AI came into play, because now everybody thinks, this is AI, this is AI. But before AI came, people were believing everything in the book. Now people think it's AI until there's actual sources to verify what it is that they are seeing or hearing. So I just feel it's gotten to a place of also people just believe everything they see and hear.
Also, people are follower hungry. So like a lot of the things, there's a lot of creators on TikTok mainly, but also other things, where it will be like, God wants you to hear this, so like, share, follow, all of the things. And then it's become a thing of everyone is like, there's two sides. There's either the people that always scroll or the people that always do what is being asked. Because now it's like, you can't tempt me to follow because you want the likes, you want the shares, and whatever, you want to build your following, but you're not actually trying to spread the word. So it's like that thing of people are baiting people into following them by saying things like that, which is another thing. It actually started on WhatsApp, where it was like that long message. If you do not share this to 10 plus people, you're going to die, or this person's going to show up in your room. So it's like chain messages moved to that 5-second video.
And that used to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
Y'all used to follow those things, eh?
Yay! Yay!
Share, forward.
Yeah, 4 to 15
Poke,
people.
super
Poke.
poke.
They don't know that.
How we do from Trevor
I don't know
Noah.
that.
Super poke, super poke. Yeah,
I don't
Trevor
know
Noah. No, but yeah, that is so true that they do say you need to like and follow. If you don't like and follow, you don't believe in God. Because I don't like you and follow you.
And at the end of the day, it's important that you know your truth, right? Because we are exposed to so much information, right? And so many different views. Whereas back in the day when we were youth, it's very few. You're either Christian or you're not. You either believe or you're not. When you approach someone, you introduce them to Christ. Do you know Jesus? No. Right? Today it's not the same. Because I believe in Jesus, but my own way. I've got my own conditions. I've got my own relationship. Yeah, you understand. But it's really different. Um, the biggest thing with social media that I would like to ask is one of my favorite topics. You're only finding out now because I'm gonna say it. There's one word called comparison. How has social media affected your
Perception
to
of yourself.
yes.
Kevin first.
Ugh, this one is a tough one.
Let's be honest.
Yes, I understand.
Honestly, I will say I didn't. I was never obsessed with social media. I was never the person that's like, oh, I want to post on social media. I want to do this on social media. I want to do that on social media. So it's like I never actually like compared myself to social media like growing up. And then there came a point of like you specifically, ma, where you asked me, why don't you post on social media? Why don't you do this on social media? And it's because I don't want to have to deal with different opinions, with people's different opinions, because then it becomes a thing of, then you actually start comparing yourself. So I'd rather distance myself, because if you start to engage, you actively engage in that, it becomes a thing of you need people to follow you, you need this, then you're looking at other people, what are they doing differently that is going to cause people to follow me, and it's going to become a whole spiral. So it's like I would rather not, because in all honesty, I compare myself without social media. I don't need to compare myself on social media.
So what is that? But before you answer, let's ask Setlan. What is the comparison that's come, or your perception of how you compare yourself because of social media?
Well, at first it wasn't a big thing where I was so into social media until COVID time, and everybody was now full time on social media, and TikTok became a big thing around that time. And because I started off by just watching people what they're doing, and there's trends going on. It's like, okay, this is nice, let me hop on the trend, let me do what this person is doing. And then it just became that type of thing. You see, okay, their following is growing, what are they doing to grow their following? And then I would mimic or do similar things, then now also now to gain a following, and then it just went on that way.
And what was the impact of that?
The impact of that was, in reality, if I look back at it, I was not being myself, because now I'm just being copycat. I am following what they're doing. Meanwhile, I'm not doing my own thing. Yes, it's okay to follow trends as long as it aligns with who you are and what you value and what is deemed as right, especially as a Christian, because if you're a Christian, you need to do things in the way that's pleasing and honoring to God. And if you go outside of that, then people like, oh, Christian, but look what you are doing. So it's more about trying to be yourself, and I don't think I was being my true self at the time.
Okay, so The next question I have for you is, you both mentioned that you were raised in a Christian home. What is the one thing that you remember that we've taught you that you actually implement?
I think for me, it's don't believe everything you hear. If someone says something, you need to go and seek the information for yourself.
One thing Daddy always says is to always read things in context. Would always know if you hear something from somebody and you don't necessarily know it for yourself, or you don't necessarily believe what that person is saying, go back and reference what they have said and then read what they've said in context, so that you can understand for yourself what this person is saying rather than just believing what they've said, which is what Stephen is saying.
Okay.
That's good. Has that helped you in any way?
Yes.
How has it helped you?
It helps with developing an understanding of something that somebody may be either misinterpreting or misconstruing, because then you don't just believe anything that you hear, because then it's like you started out your own understanding because somebody else is saying something different to what you have understood.
What do you think that parents today don't understand about young people? You talk to young people all the time, so we come from a different age, right? We have experienced youth differently. What do you think that we just don't get right now?
Did you ever think that experiencing it in this house, that my parents just don't get me? They don't get me.
I'm not gonna say that. That's a question for Stephen.
For me, I can't really think of anything to say that my parents just don't get me. But I know your favorite saying is, we were all so young, so we know the tricks. So I can't really defend and say anything about it because I'm young, I'm experiencing my own things. You're also young, so you're saying that you went through similar things. But it's also a thing of, you went through your own experiences. Why don't you just leave me to go through my own experiences and let me learn from my mistakes? Because it's like, before getting to the mistake, you wanna cut me off. I know it's for protection, that I don't get hurt, but I'll never grow, because if I'm today moving out of my parents' house and I go through my own challenges and I fall and things happen and now I'm now in a situation, I never knew how to get myself through it because it's now my first time being in it. So if you had just let me to make the mistake and learn from it, I would better myself and not make same mistake again.
I'm hearing what you're saying. So I'm hearing you say, you've already warned me. Let me make the mistake.
Because I want to learn for myself.
No, but the warning sometimes just stops.
Yeah, but we're teaching certain things, right? So we teach you certain things and we hope that you apply that to your life. I don't know what the example in your head is, but if I say to you, as an example, you don't go and rent a place when it's going to take your entire salary, right? And you say, well, I want to live on my own. And you go and live in a place that takes your entire salary, then you can't buy food and you can't get to work and you can't do the basic things. I've made you make your mistake. How does that help you?
That's a big scenario. It's not something small.
No, give us an
I've
example.
never gotten there yet.
Give us an example so that we can understand and other parents listening can also understand what the boundaries should be.
What kind of mistakes should we allow you to make?
Like I'm saying, I don't have a exact example. I'm just speaking like a general thing because I know young people go through a lot and they have a lot of complaints about their parents not allowing them to do certain things. I think it's also because we are in a protective home where certain things is generally not allowed, and you say we're allowed to do these things only if we move out. If we want to do what we want to do, then move out. So we don't have that many experiences to say that we were wanting to do something, but you stopped us from doing it. But if I had to speak about the general example, is maybe like a child that wants to go to a party, and now the parent is saying no, you can't go. But if the parent is saying yes, you can go, then they're saying you must be home 7 o'clock.
So you
No,
don't like the
that actually-
conditions.
That actually, yes, I'm gonna speak about it now that it's coming to mind. I say I wanna go out to the mall. I must be home before the sun is gone.
Sun is down.
This generation, they say the party starts at night time when the sun is gone. Now I must be home before the sun is gone, and my friends is like, your parents.
I'm not part of that generation. I want to be at home. There's absolutely no reason to be outside in the dark. Like, I live on my own. I live in Cape Town. I want to be back before it's dark. Because why am I outside when it's still dark? There's no reason.
Parents are concerned over multiple things. Number one, it's your safety, right? One of the questions that we always ask is, how are you going to get home? Right? So if you're out at night, I remember the scenario where you wanted to go to a party in Pretoria.
Yes, it was my friend's birthday party.
Yes. So the questions, we did not make decisions for you. We asked, how are you going to get home? How much will it cost you? And based on our questions, you made a decision. We didn't make the decision for you.
The thing is, I was not going to be able to come home.
so what? So as responsible parents, should we then just say, yeah, go, and not maybe just make you think of certain things? It's interesting because it's different perceptions, different perspectives as well.
I have something that I think you just don't really understand. Because let's say you always say that you grow up, that you were also young at some point, and you also grew up at some point. I just want to add, you did not grow up with technology and with social media, so you did not grow up learning those things. So there are certain things that we learn how to hide from you before you learn that we hide from you. So it's like, you can't say that you do know everything. But one thing I will say, is that there's certain things that's like certain trends and things that we do, that it's really not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Like, can I say, because I don't understand it. I don't do it because I don't take photos. But I don't understand it. Every single time, without fail, if Sethan posts a selfie with her tongue out, just a selfie. You know what I say about the tongue all the time, but what is the problem? It's just a picture. It's not a tattoo. It's not a piercing. It's just her tongue.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. Because also with the type of the picture, it's like when you're doing a family photo, right? And they say, do a funny face. What other funny face? I must stick my tongue out because that's a funny face.
Oh, you do Danny's face.
But yes. So I'm just taking a picture of the tongue because it's just a picture. I'm not doing anything else, something that looks really bad, like delete, now, delete.
My question about the tongue is, why is it out of your mouth? That's my only question.
Okay.
And the question is, did you come up with it yourself?
Or are you imitating something that you've seen?
Personally, I don't think I came up with it for myself, but I can't even retrace a memory back to where it all came about. It's now become a natural thing. If I'm taking a picture, the tongue is there. When I look at it, I hear the voice. Why is the tongue out?
Your mother's got eyes behind her head,
Invisible eyes.
The biggest lie.
which you used to believe.
The biggest lie ever.
So before we move on to the next topic, I want to ask this question. How would you feel if we gave you complete freedom and didn't care about where you were at any given time?
Firstly, I'll be worried because I've only known you to be strict and protective of what it is that we do. Yes, it will be nice to have a little bit of leeway here and there of certain things that we can do. Also because we are older now. So yeah, I think that's what I got to say.
Okay, so I have that freedom and I still don't use it because I still tell you everywhere that I go. So,
At all times.
not at all times, but I do tell you most of the time where I am going. And I do inform you if I'm going somewhere that's like more than just going to the park. If it's
Except
just the park.
Except for the park at midnight.
Midnight.
But y'all were asleep and I didn't think of it. So the thing is, like, I generally just tell you where I'm going. Also because one of the biggest things for me, I watch too many, not true crime, but like too many like crime investigation shows. So like I'm very paranoid about these things. So it's like I'm constantly thinking about that. So if I am somewhere like nobody knows where you are, what's gonna happen? So always like somebody has to know what you're doing, where you are, because at the end of the day, if something does happen, then they know where you last were and like where they could find you. That's always my first thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree on parts of what she's saying, but it's also a thing of we are now in the technology phase. You all figured out that we can track each other through the Live 360 app. So I'm like, it's there. You can see where I am going. Why do you still need to ask me what time am I coming back home?
Because nobody's gonna be checking it 24/7. Nobody wants to follow after you on the app. Just say where you are going.
I can say yes where I'm going, but why is it still a thing of what time I'm coming back home?
Because you
app-
don't communicate.
The app can show where you going or the direction you're traveling or where you are located.
Yes.
The app cannot tell me what time you are coming home.
Yes, it will not tell you, but I've already informed you this is where I'm going to be going, and you're like to do extra mile with what that entails is by asking who we're gonna be going with, right? So I'm willing to give that information to say this is where I'm going, this is the people I'm gonna be with, or who I'm going to be with. Now it's a thing of what time I'm gonna be home. Now I must think of a time, and then I must get disappointed because the time is now cut short. Because now I must think of a reasonable time where I'll get Iowa. Yes, it's fine, you can go. And if I say I'm gonna come home at a certain time, you're like, no, because the sun is gone.
Okay, but then if you don't communicate the time, do you want your parents to be like this, the police driver that stopped driver no way? He's like, I just estimated. Estimate? How are you gonna know if you just estimate?
No, but the thing is, this is where I'm going, this is who I'm going with. I can't inform you what time I'll be back, but if it gets to a point where you're a little worried, phone me, I'll say I'm still here, and if you say you want me to message you the time I leave, then I'll message you the time I leave. I must think of the time I'm going to leave.
But that's just acting responsibly.
Uh,
That's all it is. All we say is communicate ahead of time. If things changes and you're not able to be home at the time that you've communicated, because we're not dictating the time you must be back. We are asking you. So it's your responsibility then, if that changes, to communicate. That's what we expect.
So you're saying if I'm going somewhere and I'm going with someone, and I say I'll be home 7 o'clock, are you gonna say it's fine?
The next question will be, how are you going to get home at 7 o'clock?
The
So-
taxis are still operating that time.
No.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but like as long as you have money to take an Uber, which is safer than a taxi, it's
Yes.
fine.
Because we needed transport to drop you in front of the house.
Not walking.
Not walking at 7 o'clock at night. It's not safe.
Okay. I
But,
do
but,
understand.
but so that you understand, just so that you know, the same applies to the two of us. We keep each other informed, and sometimes we forget, right? Like the one night when I was out with a farewell, then I left there after 10 to 11, and I just forgot to send a message.
Even now, I came home 1 o'clock. Where were you?
When?
I don't know. You come home 1 o'clock. I don't know.
She used to come home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning if it was book club.
Yes,
That's his book club. Daddy always knew where I was.
Yeah.
but that wasn't book club. Don't misinform your people.
But the life 360 is for my sanity, so that I can know at any given time if I see you late or you're out late, then I can see your youth is coming back, transport is slow, I can see if you're traveling home. It's just for my own sanity, but I won't be hogging it and watching it 24/7. It's for that moment that you just want to see is everyone safe.
And just to be clear, notifications is off for myself and Daddy. Sienna and Mommy choose to have the notifications on. So if you see random notifications of things I forget to communicate, it's not my fault.
I don't know why it's been switched off. I see when Madam arrived at school and she left. Every time.
I
Arrive, I
don't
left,
need
arrive, I left.
unnecessary notifications.
No, it's for my sanity, so I keep it on.
So let's talk a bit about relationships.
Mm.
And for someone, I don't know, you need to tell us what you want to see in a potential future partner. And for someone, they probably saw it already.
Yeah, I
So
think
just give us your
for
perception.
the other person, so the one person is going to answer the one question, what they want to see in the future. For the other person, the question is, what do young people get wrong about Christian relationships?
Okay, so what qualities are most important in a future partner? This question is posed at you, Gabby.
I'm not gonna say no because I don't know. But there are things I don't want, and one of the main things is I don't want somebody that's like a stereotypical man who thinks that they are supposed to be in charge, or not like necessarily like in charge, but like they are the one that's supposed to be how do you explain, they are like the head, they the ones that are like the money makers, they the ones that's supposed to be working, so then you're supposed to be at home in the kitchen, or like that's the stereotypical thing of he's the one that's like in control. It's not like an equal relationship, but more of like
Male dominated
Yeah.
relationship.
yeah.
The decision maker.
Yes. So it's like somebody that doesn't really necessarily see himself as an equal, but himself as somebody that's better than you. That's something I don't want in a relationship. And for me, I would like somebody that listens. But like, you always say that I have like high expectations of people, but sometimes I want somebody that's going to hear something I said for the first time, remember that I have said it, and put in the effort to do that. So if I say I want this book, nah, And then it's like you don't have to, doesn't have to be something that's like out there. If I say I like chocolate or I like teddy bears, it's like you don't have to put in that much effort to remember something as small as that.
You must just get someone who can deal with high maintenance.
It's not high maintenance, it's just like the bare minimum. It's literally the bare minimum.
Attention
Daddy does it
to
for mommy
detail.
all the time.
True that. True that. I'm also not that person who's materialistic and wanting a whole lot of things. Like, you need to buy me this.
But you're how materialistic. Anyway,
In what way?
you like things.
Yes, I like things. And I'm not now gonna say to the person, this is the things I like, please get me all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have parents for it. But they also don't get me everything that I want. But yeah, they also don't get me everything that I want. Because now I'm at the age where like, you got money, go buy it. And I'm like, ish. When the money goes out, it's sad. Oh, everything I worked for is now down the drain. It's okay, not necessarily down the drain, but it's now gone.
Like, I know I have money. That doesn't mean I want to spend my money.
Yes, rather use someone else's money.
Yeah, I also wish I had parents for that.
So Stephen, to you, we want to ask the question about what are young people getting wrong in Christian relationships today?
What young people are getting wrong in Christian relationships is that there will not be fights and disagreements and arguments, because it's like people expect it to be perfect, because God is perfect. So if you have God in the center of your relationship, you shouldn't be having issues and problems. But I feel like those relationships are where more problems take place, because God gives us trials and tribulations to see how we can handle each other, how we can work together and show the love, even though you get frustrated 50% of the time, but you still need to love the person, you still need to forgive the person for what they did. So yeah, I think that's one of the main things that they get wrong. And when things get tough, then the easy route for them is just to leave. Like, I'm tired, I just want to leave.
So what would not be a healthy relationship to stay? What's not a healthy relationship for young people to stay in? What are like red flags that would be like a yay?
Firstly, you don't believe in God, because that's where the foundation is to lie. In order for your relationship to be sustainable, to grow and eventually start becoming a healthy relationship, if you don't have God as being the ground level, we're gonna fall, because it's like you're building, because being in a unit, you're being a home, you're building a house on sand, it's not solid, everything's gonna collapse. So yeah.
Okay, so you're saying if the relationship that you're entering, the two of you are not both believing of the same thing, that it may not
Yes, and
Either.
equally yoked, yes.
unequally yoked.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Gabby, that you want to add that Christian young people may be getting wrong today?
Okay, I'm not gonna mention it, but like it's like when two people are not equally committed, like you both believe in God, but you're not both equally committed to it, because then it becomes a thing of, if one person like falls, the other person's picking them up, but if the person that's always picking up somebody else falls, then you're both going to fall, instead of the other person being there to pick you up, because it's like they place different levels of importance in Christ.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for the questions?
Rapid fire.
Hmm.
Let's go.
Yay.
One word that describes your generation.
Chaotic.
Foolish.
What's the next one?
One thing that young people need more of.
God.
Sense.
Common
What?
sense.
Sense.
And what do they need less of?
Opinions.
Outside world.
One word.
One word. Yo, I don't have one word. They need less of.
Feelings. I'm sorry.
Opinions was right. I agree with that. They need less of opinions.
Okay, Satan, we'll start with you. Your favorite Bible verse right now.
2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith and not by sight.
Gabby?
2 Timothy 1 verse 7. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind.
And then one piece of advice that you would give a young person that's struggling in their faith today.
It's not a comparison game. Everyone's on their own path and you learn at different times.
All I can just say is pray and cry out, because God hears you and sees you. Things may not change immediately, but on God's timing it will change.
That's good. Maybe another question I have for you guys is there anything about our youth days that we've shared with you that you can critique or compliment or question?
You were always in church. But like, I don't know if that's a critique or a compliment because you were always there.
So it's a critique and a compliment.
Yes, because like the thing is you never had time for yourself, but then you were always in church. But then because you were always in church, everything that you did, relationships, all of the drama that comes with being a teenager happened in church. So then all of the drama was in church instead of
Holy
outside
drama.
of church.
Holy
It's
drama.
only drama.
So it's like it's kind of both, because if you don't actually expose yourself to the outside world, you don't actually know about the outside world, but you also have problems in the world that you are in. Yeah.
Satan?
Why is there no more youth choirs? It's all gone. It left there. That's where it stayed. And it'll be nice, because Gab was even saying, if we finally have a youth, yes, we must have a youth choir. Because even now with the youth that I am visiting, the Nazarene, Auntie Mal is like, yes, we should start a youth choir, because there's people that can sing. And she automatically said, I must be in the youth choir. And then the funny thing, Uncle Junaid is like, please don't ask me to be leader for that choir. Like, please don't ask me.
But I know the one thing is that, like, in your time, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but there was better commitment than there is now.
Yes.
Because you can try and plan and arrange things with people now, and just getting people to be on time is a headache. But to get people to be committed and like, you're gonna have very few people that are actually consistent, and you'll know the handful of people, okay, these people are consistent, these people are always on time, and then everyone else is like, it doesn't really matter as long as we get there when we get there. And then it becomes a thing of the people who are consistent. It's like, nah, nobody's gonna be there anyway, so they also gonna fall behind, and it's just chaotic.
And that is true, because in your generation, you're determined, you're new. This is the time you must be. That's why now, even at youth, if they say this youth is visiting another youth, they say, come at at 6 o'clock, because that's when we are going to leave you behind. Then everybody comes around that time because they feel that they're gonna be left behind. Meanwhile, we come and we're still chilling until the actual time we're leaving. So they had to make that strategy, because if you tell them come this time, they're not going to pitch. They're
When you
gonna
have
be
to-
late.
When you have to lie to get people to be on time, there's something wrong.
So if this is the generation that we are living in, that you have to manipulate people or you need to coerce them in some way to be on time, what do you think the future would be like for this group of young people when they start working?
We are crumbling.
Already it's a problem, because already, like, I don't even know if this can be online, but already people like don't communicate, or people are like late and they just think, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. That is fine. Like, that's gonna excuse the reason that you are late. So it's like already people think it's okay to be late as long as you apologize, as long as you take accountability. But I don't know what's gonna happen. People are gonna get fired and they're gonna be like, why am I getting fired? Like, I didn't do anything wrong.
So what's your message to young people if they are planning to have professional careers in the future, and this is the kind of behavior that they're displaying in their youth? What's your advice to them?
Take accountability and communicate, because it's not fair to somebody else. If you want somebody else to respect your time and to respect you, you have to respect them first, because you can't expect somebody else to be respectful towards you and respect your time when you need them to do something, but then you don't do the same for them.
Stefan?
Nah, I agree with what Gabby's saying. I also don't have much to say, but like she said, take accountability and say, because we know a lot of things happen. Like if you are traveling, you could be in an accident. At least just say, I apologize, I might be late because of XYZ, and they will be understanding. But also it'd be questionable if it's a constant thing. I'm sorry, I'm late, sorry, I'm late, sorry, I'm late. So that also needs to come to, I don't know, you need to come to some boundary, because you can't be doing that the whole time. And I wish other parents can tell their children also, on time is late. You must be at least 15 minutes, then you know you are on time.
The amount of people that look at me funny when I come early, they're like, why are you early? Like, why are you late?
It's
Yes,
become the culture.
it is that thing, because they go walking class late and they're like, class didn't even start. It could have started, but you think just because it's silence, nothing happened that 15 minutes when you were not there. But I do understand being on time is, yeah.
Even though it's a challenge for some people.
You know, for me, I can say it is a challenge to always be on time. And no, what am I saying? Yes, to always be on time. And when I say on time, it's 15 minutes before. But as long as I'm there the time I need to be there, then I am okay. Because I don't have to now sit and like, what am I doing? Must now count my fingers until it's time for me to do what I need to do.
Yes, because then you get a chance to breathe and relax and not stress about being late. Or at least that's for me, because I stress about being late. Anyway,
So thank you once again for joining us in this episode of the Mindset Talk. You can let us know in the comments what you thought. If you have any questions, any comments is welcome. Tell us if we should bring the girls on this platform more often, if you've enjoyed them. But I wish that the message that we're trying to share helps in some little way to make a difference so that we as parents can start taking accountability and teaching our children. Because charity begins at home, right? If we can teach our children at home, it will impact our communities at large. And so thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, share, and please download the 21-day devotional that we've designed. It's designed not just for individuals, it can be used for families as well. But just get together, get closer to God, because families matter to God. So until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.